Yeah, I guess sort of when I hear testimonies about people coming to the faith, a lot of times I hear stories about, like, I don't know, people just being rescued from crazy stuff like addictions and all these bad situations in life, bad family stuff. But mine, I guess, is sort of different in the sense that in a lot of ways my life was good before Christ, like before I truly met him. I came from like a good family. I did good in school, in high school. I won a lot of awards in the sports I played. Got a nice scholarship to college, attending this private school. Was doing really good in school. I was on track to get these internships and I don't know, essentially live a great life, leading all these campus organizations, and from any sort of, I don't know, societal standard, you would say that I was doing pretty good up until would have been my sophomore year of college. But obviously things changed a lot for me during that time. I had grown up in a family, we went to church, and I had gone to youth group, so I had sort of heard about God and Jesus, and like it was something my family had faith in. Like we had faith in Jesus. Like, so I sort of grew up just knowing that there is God and Jesus had saved me, and just sort of the basics. But it wasn't like, I don't know, it was just sort of like an afterthought more than anything for me. It was just like a sort of a crutch, and that's sort of how I viewed it. And especially once I started to be successful sort of in college, I just sort of looked down on like my family and just people who were in the faith. I just saw them as sort of weak, and I was like, what would a person need God for? And so I just had sort of got that mindset for most of my college years. But it wasn't until just one random night where I was just hanging out with a friend, and we just ended up in another guy's dorm room, and we were just hanging out, I don't know, talking about football or something. And he was just in a really bad mood. This guy was just in a really sort of bad mood that night, and so he just starts talking to me about all these things that are upsetting to him, all these people that are doing things, and then he just starts asking me about like faith and what I believe about God, and he was just doing it in a very upfront kind of way and like sort of in my face about it, and I didn't really know what to say. I just sort of said, yeah, I believe, like when I die, like they'll bury me in the ground. Like I didn't really know what he was getting at. But then as soon as he sort of heard the hesitation in my voice, he really got just passionate with me, and he just started basically telling me who God was to him, who Jesus was, and who that God was actually real in his life, just how important he was to him. And for some reason I just really felt, I don't know, just compelled by what he was saying, because he's a cool, dude I really respected, an athlete, and just, seemed to be, had a lot of common interests and stuff. So he actually invited me to church the following day, and so I went with him to church, and it was the first time I've been to church in a while outside of going home and going to church with my family. And I don't even really know, the pastor was talking about something that might have been more or less relevant, but I just felt like just incredible conviction, like I had never really experienced actual presence of God before, and I was just there and listening to the pastor, and it was just an incredible heavy conviction on my heart. And I'm in this church, just this 20-year-old dude with some other 20-year-old dudes, and we're just in church, and I'm just bawling, literally bawling for no reason. I don't even know why I was bawling at the time. And it was sort of comical because they were just looking at me like, what's wrong? Like, did your dad just die? Or like I couldn't even really explain to them what was going on. So it was like at that point that I started to kind of realize that something was going on in my life, something outside of myself and what I had been living for up to that point. And so I just started to get more involved. Like I just found myself in situations with people who knew God and knew Jesus. And it seemed like for a while, every time I would go to some sort of church or gathering, like I would just have like incredible experiences with God, and it just became a thing where it's like God is actually like real. He's not like a thing that people can just talk about, or these things where it's just an empty prayer or a meditation that it had been for me before. It wasn't like just like a way to calm your nerves. It was actually a being, and a being that actually cared about me, and a being that's real and involved with my life. And ever since then, really, it's just been a ride. Like it's just, I don't know, it's just awesome because I'm constantly, whether I experience it or not, I'm constantly just tapped into God and just incredible like reality of heaven that I have through Him and through what Jesus has done for me. And it's just been really cool to, I don't know, impact my family with that, and just build up an incredible group of friends through that, and just see, I don't know, just continue to see what God has done. It's just really been, I mean, obviously it's like the biggest part of my life, the most important part of my life. Yeah, and I expect that it will continue to be just an incredible ride. I don't know. Part of the ride is I don't ever know where I'm going in life, but everything always has worked out from that point. I've abandoned sort of what I had planned for my life and my future, but I in a sense I don't really care, because I just know that it's going to be fine, and like God has just proven Himself to me that He's always there and He's always faithful, so I can just trust Him with my life and others as well.